it's a testament to this team, the fact that we'll never give up. We'll always keep fighting and keep trying to make our cars better. We're not the chase, we're not where we want to be, fighting for the championship. But great day today here with this red vest Felon Chevrolet. I'm so happy to win this race and to say thank you to all the men and women that work in the stores and wear that vest each and every day. It was just a chase that was tough for us, but to redeem ourselves here and come out with a victory is really, really cool. Last week in Homestead when we were testing, we found some speed we've been missing, and we found comfort in the car and got it right. Had a great test there. Brought that stuff here, and Old Red got it done.
You've been through a lot in your 6 championships, but what do you make of some of the things that are going on and the emotions and the fighting and all of the extracurriculars that are going on during the course of this championship run?
Yeah, it's intense. I mean, emotions run high, and when somebody does you wrong, if you don't have a chance to repay them on the racetrack, like most, bring it into the garage area and do something with it there. So emotions are high. That's what we're all in a position to win a championship. And this is what happens. So I'm sure it was highly entertaining today. Can't wait to go back and watch the tape. But once again, just so proud of everybody. Hendrick Motorsports, great car, great engine. Lowe's, Chevrolet, just a fantastic day. Cobalt Tools as well.
Fucking bullshit!
Welcome to NASCAST 500. The only you know what? Screw it. I'm Elizabeth. He's Phil. Adam, take it away.
Okay. Well, we all know that I'm partial for my Johnson rants. That defines my character in this show, as well as my rants on Vanilla Shake. Anyway, I cannot believe that shitfest that was Texas. I mean, from the fucking get-go, not just on Sunday, from Friday till Sunday, I won both races in nationwide and then of course Big Pack and Chad lead. They fucking take over. They lead the most laps, and of course the typical Texas style when someone close is about to get by, almost win, caution come out, and Johnson benefits. It was like 2012 all over again. It reminded me a lot of the fall race in 2012 where Brad almost had to win, and almost bullshit cautions happened, and then Johnson took the fucking win. It was just like that. I didn't even watch the first half of the race. I was dead asleep. I would rather sleep than watch Johnson win, and that's what I did for the first, 125 laps. I was dead asleep. I woke up and turned on TV. Oh, Johnson's losing. 30 minutes to an hour later, Johnson's still leading. I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? So then I watched through. Maybe this fucker won't win. He'll probably dominate and he'll find some way to lose. And then, no. It turns out it was just like all that bullshit, standing up, watching that race, hoping someone else would win. That someone was about to win that wasn't Johnson. And then, of course, thanks to the bullshit cautions, debris and crashes, and yeah, that just basically allowed Johnson to take the fucking win. I honestly believe that it's fucking rigged. That there's no those cautions would have happened and wouldn't have benefited that fucker. Aside from Clint Boyer hitting the wall like a dumbass, and then showing his abilities on the track, it's what he's been known for the last couple of years since joining the WWE. If that didn't happen, Gordon would have won because he took the lead from Johnson, got away with like 3 laps to go, then Boyer hits the wall, then another bullshit happens, and then what do you know? The 48 takes the lead back. Brad and Gordon are 3 wide. Gordon tries to get in front of Brad. Brad cuts through, makes contact. Gordon spins out, blows the tire, and I'm like, fuck. Then on the next restart, Brad's like, okay, I'm going to take Johnson, and the rider team's about to take him, another car happens. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no fucking way this isn't rigged. I was like, you have to be shitting me. This isn't fucking real. This cannot be happening. So, I'm like, alright, Brad can do it. So then, Brad was about to get there. He was about to take the lead, and then Harvick pushed him up the track, and then basically let Johnson get away, and nearly spun Brad out. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a Harvick fan, but that was fucking bullshit. That basically just allowed Johnson to get away, and Brad couldn't close the deal. And of course, the final restart where Johnson gets away, and no one can touch him, no cautions. But when someone else is about to get in front of him, or does get in front of him and is about to lead and win, caution comes out. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. I could not even believe it. 3 straight years in a row that we've seen this fucker win this race. Can we see someone else win, for fuck's sake? I mean, Jesus Christ. The last 2 races, the last 2 years in Texas alone were just trash. Both seasons, 2013 and 2014, featured drivers I can't fucking stand winning. Kyle won the spring race last year, and then Johnson won the fall race last year. Logano wins the April race, and then Johnson wins the fall race again. And then Johnson still won the fall race in 2012. It's like, why? Is Texas becoming like Johnson's California, where he would just be like literally unbeatable at ACS, where he won like, I don't know, 3 straight fall races in a row? Unfortunately, I was there for like 2 of them when he won those races. But fuck Texas, man. It's just trash. I mean, it's typical Texas bullshit. You get all hyped up, you're thinking it's going to be something cool, and it turns out to be bullshit. And then the only thing that's showcasing Texas that made it anything watchable was at the fight at the end, which we'll get into later. But I can't fucking believe it. I just can't fucking believe it. But the only thing that's not making me go completely apeshit like I normally would if he was in the chase is he's not in the chase. He's not fighting for the championship. So I could fucking care less if he wins. Oh, Johnson wins his 70th career win. Yeah, whoop-de fucking do. Who cares? Nobody's talking about that. The only people who are fucking Big-Pack fans like Phil Bartley. He probably jerked off after watching Johnson win. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, that finish was fucking embarrassing as a NASCAR fan. And then that fight alone between 3 of my favorite drivers, Harvick, Brad, and Gordon, that was embarrassing too because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people are like, ooh, fight, yeah, ooh. Like, but that's not what I like about this sport. I like for the racing. I don't come for the fucking fights. And then everyone's like, oh my god, Brad's in all these fights. He's an asshole. What the fuck? Do you even know what happened at Charlotte that made Brad do that? And if you look at Charlotte, Brad wasn't the one that got someone in a chokehold. That was Kendon. Hamlin was a dickhead and tried to get in front of Brad and try to be like, hey, what's up? And then try to fucking clobber him with his car. Brad didn't like it. Brad was about to go about his way, and Kendon fucking gets up on it and tries to fucking get him in a chokehold. And then this shit, Harvick pushed Brad into Gordon, and I'm like, come on, enough with these fucking fights. It's downright embarrassing when all we're concerned about is a fucking little scuffle. Like that's the biggest thing of the whole race. When a fight is bigger than the race itself, that's fucking sad. And especially since it's Texas. I'm not surprised, because Texas is a fucking shit fest anyways. I'm fucking done.
Oh, okay, yay!
Awesome. Alright, so I have to follow that. Really, I don't know, as usual, I don't know how to follow Adam's rants because they're epic. Basically, I could just say a couple of numbers. 9 for 191. That's the number of times and the number of laps Fudge Pack led in his little red vest cheater mobile.
That was an ugly car, by the way.
Well, it makes sense. It was an ugly car. He runs at Texas really well, and there he goes and wins. I watched the last 75 laps, and that was where all the entertainment happened. Because the first, 200 plus laps of that shitfest was exactly that, a shitfest. I mean, what is it? Where do we have here? Is that Matt Kenseth? Matt Kenseth started on pole, finished 25th. I mean, the thing is, he had a good car early on. I watched early the first few laps, and then I watched the last 75. I was watching the U.S. Grand Prix, which is way more compelling to me as a Lewis Hamilton fan, and he won his 10th race of the year there. But at the end of the day, Adam, long story short, what Adam said, when the fight is more compelling, or what they call a fight, was more compelling than the race, it should tell you all you need to know how that race was. And Eddie Gossage, that freaking goober, piece of trash promoter, lying about the attendance. There's probably a good 75,000 people there. Between the U.S. Grand Prix, which looked pretty much packed at Austin, a Dallas Cowgirls game against Arizona, and then this garbage fest. I mean, you knew they weren't going to have a great crowd. They didn't have a great crowd. The racing was horrible. At the end of the day, between Candy Cane, Boyer, and a couple other people just kept on spinning out and altering the finish of the race. The fact is, it was the spin by Boyer that basically cost Jeffy a chance to win because if Boyer doesn't spin out, he tried to go spin out, then Gordon would have won. It had led to what ended up becoming the biggest talk about how of this whole week about the fight, quote fight, with where that punk ass bitch Kevin Harvick pushed Brad into it and then talked, oh yeah, he doesn't like to fight. Like, Kevin Harvick doesn't fight either. His wife fights for him. And then Jeff Gordon doesn't fight. His team and the 5 team basically tried to beat Brad's ass. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, I know there's people who don't like Brad Keselowski. He's one of the only people I can like in the sport because he's one of the only people who has heart. And he's one of the only people that doesn't give a fuck. And that's why, one of the many reasons why I like him. Who cares if Denny Hamlin doesn't like him? He's a pussy. And then, you think about like Matt Kenseth. He has a personality of a dish towel. You talk about Jeff Gordon. He's an epitome. He's one of the biggest hypocrites in the sport. Like every Hendrick driver, they can give, but they can't take. Nothing that Brad did on that last restart was so bad that it was like he was mowing him down. He made a pass. There was a gap. He left it there. Every restart, you could look for the last 5-6 restarts they had were side by side. Everyone went side by side through 1 and 2. And instead of that, in that last restart, Jeff Gordon decided to take a high arc into the corner, and Brad saw the gap, went for it. It's racing. It's the last restart of the race. You want him to go and sit back and let you go? I mean, it's bullshit. It's just really ridiculous about. And he's such a pansy. It's unbelievable. It's Jeff Gordon. It took most of the year between him and Kevin. The antics of both of them pissed me off so much. And then the morons who pile on to Brad. It's like, look, I know his history. I am friends with people who have very close knowledge of his history. At the end of the day, Brad can drive as a wheelman, and all I care about is one person's opinion of Brad Keselowski, and that's Roger Penske. And if Roger Penske has no problem with him, then none of us should really have a problem, because the fact is, Roger Penske doesn't hire just anybody to drive his race cars.
Because you see, everybody's like, I'm on Team Keselowski, I'm on Team Gordon. I'm here just sitting here saying, soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. So, let's go down the list. Fucktard, Happy, Keselowski, the retarded Bush, McMurray, Goonyard, Young Money, Autistic Bush, Roy Rage, and Paperboy.
I'm really surprised about Kyle being able to come back, finish 4th from hitting the wall, losing a tire, and wow, that's kind of hilarious. Then I could really give a fuck less because Kyle's not in the chase, and even if he was, I still wouldn't fucking care because he can't seal the deal anyway. This is what I love about Kyle. He can always do the quote unquote or try to do the sweep where he can win all 3 races. Yeah, I saw about how many years he's done it that he's came close to doing the triple and still fucking lost. He dominated trucks, dominated nationwide, and couldn't do shit in Cup, but finished 4th. What do you think about that? And then Larson finishing 7th. That was good because it's been kind of hard for Larson last couple of races. He hasn't finished well, but to see him finish well after that bullshit last week against and Martinsville with him and Ambrose getting into it, that was good. Hamlin finishing 10th. That was ironic because I didn't think he'd even finish in the top 10, much less the top 15 because of that strategy call he took. Harvick finishing 2nd. I mean, I'm a Harvick fan. I'm a Brad fan. So when people ask me which side are you on when it comes to Gordon, Brad, or Harvick, I'm like, I don't fucking care because they're my boys. Whoever says whatever they do, whatever they say, that's all on them. They're still my guys. I'll still pull for them. I'll still root for them. You know, it would take a lot for me to hate Kevin Harvick and Brad, and that will never fucking happen because I know a lot of people hate Harvick, a lot of people hate Brad, a lot of people don't like Gordon. You know, I understand that, but. You know, people got to understand that I've been a NASCAR fan since I was a kid. I've been a Harvick fan since I started getting into NASCAR. And I've been a Gordon fan since like 97. So I was like 3 years old when I became a Gordon fan. And as for Brad, I've been a fan of his ever since he got into Nationwide in 2008, the full-time schedule he had in the 88. That's when he became my boy. Then when he won at Talladega, I just got a lot more respect for him. And so I don't give a fuck what he does, what he says. To anybody, even if it's my guys, I'll still support him. And that's how I'll always be when it comes to it. The same goes for the other drivers I support. Like, I'll do the same for Brad, for Kurt Busch, for Ryan Newman, for Gordon. You know, the list goes on and on. There's some drivers that I did like back in the day that I can't fucking stand now, like Austin Ray with that fucking ass. I'm surprised he's still even in this series, much less gone back to Nationwide and running a handful of races there. And then Danica, I can't stand that bitch. You know, a couple years ago when she first got into NASCAR, I was like, oh my god, Danica. And then I was all about the Danica hype, not gonna lie. But then I started to realize, wow, she fucking sucks ass, figuratively and literally. So I said, she ain't gonna do nothing in NASCAR, and I was right. But the point being that race was trash. The finishing order was, other than the six-pack winning, it was alright. It really, you know, the finish for Gordon wasn't that good. It kind of fucked his championship hopes. Unless if he wins in Phoenix, which could be likely, could not happen. You know, it was. I just can't fucking stand Texas. It's starting to become on that list of fucking racetracks I can't stand to watch, like Chicago, or Kansas, or Dover, or Kentucky. You know, those fucking shit fests. And most of the time, half those races, guess who dominates? Jamie Johnson. So it's like, what the fuck do I even watch anymore? It's starting to become a fucking show. You know, like I posted on my Facebook early in the morning, I said, I cannot wait for the season to be over so everyone can shut the fuck up about this whole fucking fight. That fight was just, you know, it was like, ooh, yeah, a fight, a quote-unquote fight, yeah, what do you fucking do? How many times do we see this per year? Like, all the fucking time. And it's nothing big, you know. So Brad and Gordon got into it. What do you fucking do? Get the fuck over it. You know, don't fucking worry about it. There's still 2 races left. I don't know if people noticed or not, but there's still 2 races left to go. There's Phoenix and Homestead. So anything can happen. Brad can win at Phoenix, get into the Final Four. Gordon can into the Final Four. So I don't know why everyone's making such a big fucking deal. You know, I know it's been 2 days since the fight, but, like, really? That's all we're concerned about? We're not even talking about the championship or what's going to happen to Phoenix or Homestead. No, our big fucking concern is a fight. Fucking bullshit. But, yeah, the finishing order, good for Harvick finishing second. My guys, Brad finishing third. Larson finishing 7th. Good on Hamm finishing 10th. Kurt did a decent job finishing wherever he finished 8th or whatever. So glad to see he did something with new crew chief Tony Gibson. Now that he's no longer with Danican't. So I think now that Tony Gibson's out of that shop and in the 41 shop, I think we could see changing of the guard next year where Kurt could actually do something and maybe get a win or 2 and not just be a factor in like 1 or 2 races every 6-10 races or whatever. But yeah, fuck Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas for me, I've never liked Texas. The track's always been terrible. I mean, Tony's won there a couple times, but I've never really been a fan. In terms of, also Eddie Gossage is such a douchebag. I can't stand that guy. So anything he does is just so arrogant and over the top. That also pisses me off about the place. I mean, they never have good races. I mean, outside of the races Tony won there, I've never seen a race, honestly, that I've thought has been actually any good. For notable finishers, I mean, for Denny Hamlin and his dual personalities, finishing 10th in this crazy, what ended up becoming some crazy finish, has put him in a tie with Pizza Face for the points lead. and going into Phoenix, which is one of his better tracks. That's where he got his first win with Darian back a couple of years ago. And then you look at Nonek is third, 2 points back. He has a 10-point lead on Jeff Gordon and 11 on two drivers on Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards. Basically, Harvick, Keselowski, Edwards. Those 5 drivers have to win really to guarantee themselves next week. But in terms of what happened this week, talking about Kurt Busch, he's running the same. I'm hearing the reverb of myself talking right now. But with Kurt Busch, I mean, he's running Cucamania's cars, and then he's finishing in the top 10, and he actually looked halfway decent for the first time in months. So that was actually pretty interesting, but it's not really shocking. It just shows the difference between a guy who's won a championship and 20-plus races in the Cup Series versus somebody who's taken dicks their whole entire career. Other than that, I mean, Tony Stewart set a track record, will be the last person to go 200 miles an hour on a qualifying lap in a Cup car for a while. With the new regulations coming on next year, started 6th because he didn't set it in the final session, and really wasn't a factor most of the day. Ended up coming back to 11th with all the carnage that went on. But otherwise, the race was a bore, as usual. I don't watch Texas. Between football and Formula One, I was fully occupied until the last 70 or so laps of the race, which then became a circus sideshow. Vince McMahon couldn't write a gimmick this good the way that these idiots went after it. I mean, that's basically what these races are becoming. Some of these characters are at this point. The bad booking and gimmicks that the WWE have. That's what this is.
I'm going to say this right now. Vince should buy NASCAR and take the drivers and train them in NXT. That would be absolutely awesome, in a way.
Well, considering Carl Edwards is as close as John Cena as you can get in terms of loading and, fitness, and some of these other guys. I mean, Adrian Allmendinger, if you put a beard on him, could be like Daniel Bryan. And, I mean, there's somebody in the series that has no neck, like Newman. And, there's like the little pussy, so that can be like Richard. And then you have Pucamania as his manager. And, but the long story short, the race sucked. Johnson winning never is good for anybody's morale, unless you're that idiot that's on this page that doesn't want to show his face or give us his real name, who's a Hendrick Kool-Aid drinker, or people in that realm. Brad's going to get... I have a feeling about this weekend's race that Harvick, Keselowski, neither of them are going to make it to the end. Jeff Gordon's also liable and not making it to the end either. But there's going to be a lot of causes.
Yeah. All right. Well, Danican't, what you say about Danican't? I think it's Sadler's remorse that now that Daniel Nass is her crew chief. I mean, she finished 38th with 7 laps down. I don't blame Daniel at all. I blame the driver. She can't drive a fucking car.
You can give her the best chief in the business, and she'll fucking finish like shit. You can give her Paul Wolf, you can give her Alan Gustafson, you can give her Bob Osborne, or not Bob Osborne. You can give him Jimmy Fennig. You can give him you can give him Luke Lambert, Todd Gordon, Jason Ratcliffe, Dave Rogers. You can give her any fucking great crew chief in this business, and she'll still finish like shit. It's not any of the crew chief's fault. It's Danica. She can't drive her shit. I mean, she couldn't drive in IndyCar, let alone in NASCAR. So what does that tell you? She's a fucking hack. can't drive for shit. I'm surprised that Stewart still keeps her in their car, and why GoDaddy still sponsors her, I'll never fucking know.
I mean, at the end of the day, with her, she's a sponsor-driven entity. She's basically a publicity whore,
Aren't we all?
literally and figuratively. She can't drive a hot stick up a dog's ass. She's never been able to drive. The point is, it's funny. I was listening to the first episode earlier today to get through my shitty day at work. I was listening through the first episode of NASCAST again. I hadn't heard the episodes, and I was like, oh man, this is interesting. And I hear some of the things I said. Some of them came true, some of them didn't. But one of them that's obviously held true and will always hold true is my opinions on Pukemania, number 10, protein shake, any number of nicknames you have for her. She only knows one place where she gets results, and it's on her knees. And that's going to be the case for as long as she's in NASCAR. Tony Stewart has nothing to do with this at the end of the day. He's so busy trying to actually recover whatever skill he has or whatever thing, trying to get himself in contention, that he's not worried. If Rick Hendrick wants her there, then she's going to be there. GoDaddy wants to sponsor her running terribly, then they're going to sponsor her. At the end of the day, it takes both of them finally quitting, and then Tony's going to say, just move along, young lady. That's basically what's going to happen. That or Richard is going to put a bun in her oven, and then that'll send her too. But I don't know if he shoots blanks or what, but that's a whole other thing.
All right. We got. I just got this off Facebook. Brad, Jeff, and Kevin didn't get penalized, which is kind of good in a way. But the crew members and crew chiefs did. Jeremy Fuller, a crew member with the number 5 team, along with Dwayne Duchette and Jason Engel, crew members with the 24 team, have each been fined $25,000 and suspended from NASCAR through the completion of this next 6 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship points race. All of them were found in violation of section blah 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 and section blah blah blah, and
Actions detrimental to stock car racing?
Yeah. Dean Mozingo, a crew member with the 24 team, has been fined $10,000 and suspended from NASCAR through the completion of the next 3 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship races. He was found in the violation of section blah 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 and section blah blah blah. Kenny Francis has been fined, and so is Alan Jefferson. Both of them $5,000 and placed on probation through the completion of the next 6 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Championship point races. Found in violation of section blah blah, section blah blah, and section blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's not surprising though. I mean, I kind of figured that if nobody was going to get penalized for that fight. I mean, what really could they have done? I mean, I don't think I had, both races we've seen this year that included the fights, which are at Charlotte and just a couple days ago in Texas. Nobody got, the drivers got fined at Charlotte with Hamm, with Stewart and Brad. And Hamlin and Kenseth didn't get fined at all. And then the drivers don't get fined, which is good because Brad, Harvick, and Gordon don't need that shit. And then their crew members get fined. It's like a slap on the wrist. Like, woo, what do you fucking do? So Alan Gustafson gets fined $5,000. So does Kenny Francis. Who fucking cares? It doesn't make any fucking difference. What is that going to do? Oh, they're suspended for the next 3 races. 3 races? We have 2 races left, you dumb shit. We got Phoenix and Homestead. Oh, so they're suspended for Daytona too? That's not another 3 more months, really? What the fuck? But anyway, this penalty bullshit is just retarded. I mean, when it comes to just like measly amounts to them, which is like 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, it's nothing. It's just like, here you go, whatever, get the fuck out of here. It's nothing to be worried about. So they get suspended for 3 races. Oh, who cares? They don't give a fuck. They're like, okay, well, I get to stay home at Phoenix, Homestead, Daytona. Who cares, man? I don't fucking care. I mean, if Brad, Gordon, and Harvick got penalized points, yeah, I'd be pissed. But they did, so who cares?
I mean, there was no way they were going to go and fine. They weren't going to take points away from those guys. There was going to be money, and there's probably going to be some sort of like double secret probation, because that's what they do with the drivers, especially the ones that are known to get penalties. So if anything, Brad was, even though he did nothing wrong in that whole entire incident, honestly, if they were going to fine him, they were going to give him a money fine, and they were going to do the double secret probation. Jeffy was going to get that, but then they never penalized him for anything because he's a goody two-shoes. And then at the end of the day, if they were going to penalize anybody, it would have been Harvick for instigating the fight by pushing Brad in there. In the end, they didn't see any reason to do so because they're NASCAR. They're morons. The crews, the guys that actually caught. The point is, I'm surprised nobody from the 2 crew or whoever. I mean, I don't know who hit Jeff Gordon, but somebody hit that guy. So I'm curious as to where they
did
couldn't.
It himself.
Well, he probably got somebody came up too quick, hit him with the dick. But either way, it's like the whole point is because the 24 and 5 crews basically double team Brad, and somebody caught him good. And in terms of Kevin, he just sits there like a punk bitch because his wife runs his life. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. None of those guys are probably going to make it to the end of Phoenix, and if they do, I don't know where they're really going to be. The fines for the pit crew, who really gives a fuck? Nobody knows who any of them are, except their families, maybe. At Hendrick Motorsports, he obviously pays NASCAR under the table, so what's the difference? These fines just disappear with the wind, with all his pit crew members that get fined and suspended. And the fact is, Hendrick Motorsports has probably another 2 or 3 pit crews worth of people they can just go and put in and replace. So the logic that any of these people are really going to be missed is a fallacy. They're going to go and be just fine with whoever the idiots they have replacing them. And the fact is, it's Danican't. That loser caused like 3 or 4 cautions during that race, and he sucks. Jeff Gordon, it may affect him slightly on Sunday in pit road, but who really cares? We have to find out about that later on.
There's a Scott Merrick who was part of a page. He posted a picture on one of the comment sections. He goes, here's proof that Gordon started, and it's Kip from Napoleon the Dynamite pushing Napoleon as a wimpy push, like, God, that movie is so awesome. Oh, anyway, guess who's jumping ship from Fox?
Krista Voda.
Yes. She is leaving the stinking ship that is Fix Sports and going to NBC at NASCAR on NBC. And this is good because they need somebody like her to be part of the pit crew. I think because of Jamie Little coming in, she's like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Jamie Little. I mean, she's good looking and all, but you know what? I read some of the comments like early in the morning. I was reading some of the posts on the page about Voda leaving Fox and going to NBC, and then Jamie. You know, one of the words, I think it was Phil who said Jamie Little's a bimbo, and she's kind of true. She pretty much is. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's good looking and all, but sometimes she has no idea what the fuck she's talking about, and for that, Fox is the best place for her to go. And with the fact that Steve Burns took a leave of absence for his cancer, he's not going to be back there next year more than likely. And then you got only people that are original that's going to be back there next year is going to be Matt Yoakum. He's the only guy that's going to be on pit road that we know of that's been there forever. And then I don't know who's going to be filling in for Steve, but with Jamie coming on, that's only 2 pit crew members that are officially in for next year. Steve Burns, he may be back next year. We don't know. But yeah, it doesn't matter where Jamie Little goes. She can go to NBC, ESPN, TNN, TNT, whatever. She can go to any of all these places, and she'd still suck. I mean, it's not for her. I mean, she doesn't know where. She just sometimes when I can hear a race and I hear what the crews are talking about, and she's kind of like the female Vince Welch. She's just there, and it's like, they fucking care. Krista Voda, on the other hand, she actually has talent. So, and not to mention she's hot, so that helps us a lot. So, I don't know if she's going to be actually a part of the pit crew, or if she's going to be like the pre-race host or whatever, but I think it'll benefit NBC a lot because I think the only guys that are confirmed to be there next year are Marty Snyder and Dave Burns from TNT and ESPN. So I think that would help a lot. But for Jamie Little, I mean, she's all right. I mean, I don't have any problems with her, but sometimes she can get a little bit annoying, but whatever.
I mean, it goes back to the point. Jamie Little was just a blonde bimbo who covered X Games and stuff, and then she covered IndyCar, and she kind of became halfway decent, but she asks redundant questions. She generally is unaware. Basically, during that brawl, I think about 5 or 6 crew members copped a feel on her because she's a MILF. At the end of the day, she's irrelevant. She fits the Fox way of just having dumbasses who report what's going on. It's the same thing with Aaron. She's like the racing Aaron Andrews. In terms of Voda, it's a big upgrade for her. Instead of having to put up with the bullshit on the truck races and being on pit road for the Cup, she'll be the studio host or pre-race or whatever they want to call it. I don't know if they're going to have a studio on the race. They're going to have a revolving, like a moving track-to-track studio, or she'll be in Carolina, or she'll be in Connecticut, or wherever. But it's a great move for her. She's truly a professional. She can report the news. People respect her. And she's a good-looking woman, and she's a MILF as well. It's a good move for NBC because Dave Burns sucks. Marty Snyder's good. In the TV, the actual booth crew, we have to figure out how they're going to be. Burton's not a natural announcer. He knows the sport inside and out. He's drove, and Letarte loves to talk. He loves to hear himself speak. And then Rick Allen has become better over time, but they have to get chemistry. So it's going to be a work in progress for those guys over the year. And I'm looking forward to what they're bringing. Hopefully they do the absolute opposite of what Fox is doing. That would absolutely.
Fix Sports needs to hire Rachel Maddow of NASCAR. Me! Hire me! I would be a hell of a lot better than any of those idiots.
Well, that would end up meaning Michael Waltrip probably would get fired, which means that wouldn't be possible because they need to have as much mediocrity on that set as possible. That fruitcake.
What, so you don't want Michael Waltrip? Do you still want Michael Waltrip to stay at Fox Fix Sports?
No, I would love to. I'd love to see him go and get run over by a bus, but at the end of the day, Fox Sports would rather have him than have somebody with talent like yourself or myself or Adam. That's just how it is.
Okay, well, so we got some sad news to report. Tom Magliozzi, have I got that right? He hosted a show called Car Talk on NPR. He died yesterday of Alzheimer's disease, just like my grandmother did, at the age of 77. He's actually pretty good. I only listened to a few episodes. I gotta say, he would have been really good hosting a NASCAR show.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad loss. He's been doing the show for a long time, and he knows his stuff, and so any thoughts and prayers to him and to his family and loved ones and all. And I mean, it's tough to lose somebody who's that knowledgeable about cars and about the world of automotive today, because it's changed so much from when he probably started this show till now. So it's tough, and I mean, we're in our infancy as a show, so we'll probably come back a year from now and think, wow, like that's just 1 year, he's been doing it for 34 years, and I mean, hopefully as the off season goes on, we may expand a little bit, look into doing some other stuff with it, but obviously we're just NASCAR for now. I think there's more options with some of these other series as well, but that's a whole other thing. You go cover getting an understanding and covering the whole world of automotive. It's a big loss for us as car people.
What was that show that was on before Race Hub? It was like this. It was the show where he's this host is in the garage talking about auto parts. I forgot what it's called, but that was a good show, and it sucked that that got canceled.
Was it on Speed?
Yes.
Wind Tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when that show got canceled. It fucking sucked because Dave Despain's one of the coolest dudes of all time in motorsports, and he didn't give a fuck about what he said. He didn't censor himself. There was a time, I remember on the show, he went off on a fan and just pissed him right the fuck off, and it was funny. But, yeah, canceling Wind Tunnel was probably the stupidest thing the industry's ever done. But I think it was like right around the time that that Fixed Sports 1 was taking over. Speed, I think it was, when they canceled it. And it sucks because Wind Tunnel was the shit. I mean, it wasn't just about NASCAR. I mean, they had NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, MotoGP, what else did they have? They had all these other motorsports that they talked about. Dave Despain, he was a pit reporter for CBS. He kicked ass. He hosted, I think, the pre-race show for ESPN2 when ESPN2 was first starting out. Then he came to Speed and became the host of Wind Tunnel. But yeah, Wind Tunnel was awesome. I mean, it was one of the coolest shows that Speed ever did, and it was better than watching reruns of Pin My Ride and that stupid fucking trash show. Are You Faster Than a Redneck? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Dave Despain. I mean, he's one of the best journalists, announcers of motorsports ever. He goes into he's still here, so luckily that's for it's great for us. He's still on Matt TV. Forrest Lucas has given him an opportunity to do an interview show, but he needs a bigger platform. He deserves that platform. He's one of the only people that will speak the truth.
I don't get Matt TV in my hometown.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I mean, I forget that he's on, which is a shame because he does a great job interviewing some of the biggest names in motorsports, all motorsports. That's the difference between him and FS1 and that nonsense. Like, they act like NASCAR is the only thing that exists. There's so many different types of motorsports. There are so many legends that have been made all over these different types of racing. It's like in the next, this week, or I think next, I don't know if it's this week or next week, that Steve Kinser, the King of the Outlaws, is going to run his final race as a full-time driver a few months after his biggest rival, Sammy Swindell, retired. So two of the legends, two of the people that basically made the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series, those are guys that will be on Dave Despain show. We'll never know about them. If you put them on Fox, you would swear that Fox and NBC and these places believe that the NASCAR drivers are the 43 drivers that start NASCAR races are the best 43, which is an absolute joke. That's not the case. It never has been and never will be. But the point is, Despain is awesome. He could read a menu at a frickin' restaurant and make it sound interesting. That's how good he is. He's from I hold him in high standing. I look up to him the same way as I look up to the great Chris Economaki, New Jersey guy himself, the late great Chris Economaki, the dean of American motorsports for writing as a journalist, as a motorsports journalist. Both of those men are the shining examples of what motorsports journalism should be. As with everything that Fox does, it's not done properly, and it's got a big slant to it, and a lot of bias, with a bunch of chicks dressed in mini dresses and horseshoes. But I mean, it's a loss. It's a tough loss, and hopefully, we in terms of the show and the man, and hopefully we get the people that really speak about the sport and speak the truth back out there in the forefront again.
Yes,
even though BZF doesn't want it.
We need it. We're gonna get right to it. That and that Carolyn Brewster that always writes for NASCAR Illustrated. I want to confront her about some stupid shit she wrote. Anyway, in any event, let's go to our favorite segment. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye. And this week was Sayonara Fruit Roll Up from Dancing with the Retards. I'm going to play the clip of him getting eliminated.
Yay!
Give it a second.
Yay, and then we don't have to put guns to our heads.
Wrong stuff, so. Come on.
Tommy and Vito, while not necessarily the bottom two, one of you did have the lowest combined total of judges' scores and fewer votes from last week and will be eliminated now. Michael and Emma, Tommy and Vito on this 8th week of competition. The couple leaving right now is... Michael and Emma.
Thank God.
Yay! Fuck. That fucking
That music was awful. Whatever that background music was
I think
just
one of the things that I loved hearing you say so much about this show, Michael, was you didn't realize how much it would mean to you. Tell us how much it has meant to you.
It was a chance to do something that was more emotional than it was physical, to get to experience the wonderful folks that we danced with.
Yeah, physical with a woman, something that he hasn't done in a long time.
I just grew so much emotionally, and I'm a better person because of my tenure here, and I'm happy that I got to be here. And I'm sad I have to go, but...
Emma, share your thoughts about having Michael as a partner this season.
Sorry, I'm so emotional. He's made me a better person, and this season has been amazing.
He sounds like the frickin' kangaroo in those dick
Oh God, yes.
He's touched me in a way that I'll be a better person for the rest of my life. And
Stop fighting!
Take a well-deserved bow center stage.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, the rest.
Okay.
Taking the ass, no lube. Sorry.
What are you going to say, Phil?
I said, can she take in the ass, no lube? I'd really like to find out.
Oh. Alright, my friend Mary, who's not only Adam's friend, but also in the group Fuck the Fucking 48, she goes, well, that's it. I'm done with Dancing with the Morons. So ridiculous. That show is fixed. No, it's not. In a way.
I mean, I'm not friends with her, thank God, because, I know she's in Fuck the Fucking 48, and I don't get on there, I don't get in that group much anymore because I've got a lot of things keeping me busy, but, I mean, she's alright, but the point is like, when I first saw that screenshot, that David posted, I was like, oh my God, you cannot be fucking for real right now, like, this dumbass, she has not only has this Dale Jr. as her profile picture, but she's like, Amy got me kicked out one of the best dancers. What? You gotta be shitting me that you think Michael Watts is one of the best dancers on Dancing with the Stars. He fucking embarrassed himself, not only himself, but NASCAR fans. I couldn't even, like, when Elizabeth plays the fucking, the videos, just the audio itself, I don't even have to watch it to envision that it's just embarrassing and degrading as fuck. I mean, Paul Tripp, he never likes to admit that he sucks at dancing, he sucks at NASCAR, and he sucks at life. But
he sucks dick.
Yeah, exactly. He sucks that too. But I mean, the point is that Michael Waltrip was a shitty dancer. He's a shitty driver. I mean, the only thing he can say is that I won 2 Daytona 500s. One was rain short, and the other was because my teammate helped me win. And the other 2 wins were also because he got help and shit. But I'm kind of glad that Waltrip got kicked off, and another I'm not, because I just wanted to see Phil epically beat my rants and put me at shame. Like, damn, that would have been hilarious.
That's the only loss that comes, other than for all the inbreeders who love watching Michael act like have a Tourette's fit on live television. I mean, other than or whatever illness that involves movements, like whatever that is, like that's the only loss. Is if he had actually went all the way Sanjaya style and actually won the thing, that I would have been able to actually have an Adam level rant, because I get angry. Like Michael Waltrip gets to me for some reason. I mean, whether he's a queen because he's a queen, because he can't drive, because he's just a douchey guy. He's related to Daryl. I mean, there's so many things about him. He's so fake. He's one of the fakest people alive, and that's the only shame that really came out of him getting eliminated. Because
Waltrip wrote a crappy article about defending Brad. I was like, I can't read this. It's stupid. It's too retarded.
What was that?
Daryl Waltrip wrote an article defending Brad. I was like, I can't read this. It's too dumb.
Well, the fact of the matter is he's one of Daryl. There's a very close comparison. They want to compare everybody to back in the day. The fact is, there's a lot of comparisons to Brad, to Jaws, because they talk a lot and they don't really fight. At the end of the day, I'm a Brad Keselowski fan. The difference between Brad and Daryl is that Brad has balls and he's willing to go after it, while other drivers may deny that. The fact is he's willing to go after it. And he actually is aggressive. Daryl Waltrip got put in the wall one time by Dale Sr., and that was the end of his career. Like, he punked out like a little bitch. The fact is, Brad's gonna go and do what he has to do to win races, and fuck DW.
Michael Waltrip Racing had these fan turns. You basically you go to the pit. You'd be a fan. You watch the race from their pits, and then at the end of the race, you write a short paragraph on your experience on their Facebook page. Now, see, I would do it, but I will be writing a scathing report on it, and just to humiliate them.
Yeah, I mean it's not really something I would go and, because fact is, Michael Waltrip Racing's a joke. The fact that he's the figurehead for a company at all is a joke. His lead driver, while he filled in for Golner on Saturday, is a tool who it usually ends up that he spins out when it matters for Jeff Gordon, which on the one hand is hilarious, but on the other hand, it just seems way too convenient regularly.
And one more thing. I read your comment that you posted on the picture. Now I can't have a petting zoo at my future wedding reception. Thanks, Phil. Thanks a lot.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I was like, God damn! I lost my shit when I read that. It was just fucking hilarious.
Hey, I want a petting zoo, a bouncy castle, a dunk tank, face painting, magician at my wedding reception. Instead of all the tables and the dancing. No. But anyway, nonetheless, we'll go to the Kyle Busch series. Let's go down the list because we don't really care. Busch, Logano, Blaney, Elliott, Kenseth, Scott, Dillon, Harvick, Sadler, Armstrong. Really, this race sucked.
Yeah, it's nationwide Texas. What do you expect? It's never going to get any better. I mean, I fell asleep for basically the entire race. I was dead asleep. I turned the race on. I watched like 10 laps, fell asleep. While I was asleep, I heard Kyle win. I was like, ugh, bad dream, turn it off, whatever. But the point is that it's Texas, it's nationwide. Kyle's in the field. Kyle's gonna win. I fucking guarantee it. If I put money on that, I would have gotten so fucking ducats out of that. The whole weekend I probably would have gotten a lot of ducats out of it. I would have bet Kyle to win on Friday and Saturday. I wouldn't have bet on fucking Big Spend on Sunday, but, you know, whatever. Fuck Nationwide. I'm sick of it. It's just another fucking Cup benefit, like always. It never benefits the Cup guys. Chase Elliott could clinch the championship next week in Phoenix with a decent finish, which would be good on him because Chase Elliott's one of my boys in Nationwide. But I also want the championship to go all the way into Homestead so we could see an epic championship battle, something we haven't seen in years. I think since 2010, I think it's somewhere not even along that rate. I think I've seen an epic nationwide championship out from Nathan Boyer and Edwards. That's the last time I've ever seen anything that good. Brad won the title in 2010. There wasn't that much of a title fight. Brad just ran away with it, which was good. Got Penske racing their first NASCAR championship, which was unbelievable at that time. Then we had Richard win 2 in a row, and I felt it was worth it. There's no way that he could have won 2011 without, getting help because he first the same full time and he got 2 championships in a row and screwed, everybody's favorite guy, Sadler, at the championship. I think the only Sadler was going to win the title anyway, those 2. Because one, he drove for Joe Gibbs, and the other, he drove for Richard Shoulders. He wasn't going to win regardless of what he did. Then you go to last year with Silver Spoons basically getting the championship handed to him because of that bullshit caution that instead of red flagging the race, they just kept the caution flags going and ran through pit road and still gave flags. I'm pretty sure that they red flagged that race. Sam Horton should have won that championship and should have won that championship, but that's another story. I'm glad that Chase is going to be could have the championship in Phoenix, which would be awesome because his first year out, he's already got 3 wins or 4 wins, I think, whatever he has, and now he's going to be a champion at 18. I mean, that's awesome. And he's going to turn 19 sometime this month. I don't know which day, but somewhere this November. It's going to be awesome though because Chase deserves it. He's worked hard all year long for the title. He's one of the few nationwide drivers that's been consistent year long, along with Regan Smith, his teammate. Can't really say much about the other nationwide competitors. Ty Dillon, of course, that fucker was going to be a talk about somewhere in the season because of the wins he got. If he would have won the championship, it would have been a total fix. Having 2 Dillon brothers win 2 straight championships in 2013 and this year, which I'm glad it didn't happen. Got Brian Scott, can't win to save his life. He'll probably never win a race unless if it's a rain out or if it's at Talladega or some bullshit like that. Then you look at Elliott Sadler, of course, not going to do anything. Again, leaving Joe Gibbs racing to join Roush Fenway, which isn't really much of a compliment. It's actually pretty embarrassing going from Gibbs, one of the strongest teams in Nationwide, to Roush, which is one of the shittiest teams in Nationwide in NASCAR in general. Now that, the only cars that are going to probably run is going to be one of Elliott Sadler, the 16 of Brian Reed, and the 60 of Chris Buescher. Pretty sure Chris Buescher will be the class of the Roush Fenway for next year. He'll get some wins. He might be a championship contender. Brian Reed might get a set win, maybe. And of course, Elliott Sadler, he'll just be a figurehead. He won't do anything. He'll probably get a top 10, top 5 the pole, but I don't see a win other than that. But just fuck Texas. This whole weekend was a shit. From Friday till Sunday, trash. I'm honestly glad that I didn't watch either 2 races that Cryle won. It was a fucking joke. I think it's his 8th nationwide win this year. That's fucking disgusting. And then I think that's his 7th truck win or 8th truck win or whatever. And I didn't watch the truck races. I was at my friend's farewell party, went off the Army a couple weeks, so I'd rather be there for him than watch Kyle win. Now, actually made my fucking here. I wish so much they would still implement this law where where the cut drivers can only run 5 races of their choosing, and that's it. I mean, yeah, that was a good thing back when they implemented that. They can't run for the championship. They're running stuff. That was good, but even then, it still allowed them to win. And this year, it's just been nothing but a fucking. It's just been a benefit for all the cut drivers, for Kyle, for Harvick, for everybody. It just bullshit. Fucking I hope he choked on that champagne.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I could have recalled that. I don't even remember what we did last week or what we said in terms of who picked who, but I'm pretty sure that Kyle Busch was in our list for all of us in terms of who's going to win on Friday and Saturday. But whatever. In the end, they always talk about how he's going to go and get the triple, and he never does. He's the king of the nation. He's the king of the minor leagues. So F him. Pizza Face second. Give credit to Ryan Blaney. He has run well. Every time he gets in a nationwide car, he has proven to be very good, which I think bodes well for if and when he gets a full-time ride next year and in nationwide and or in his runs in the 21 car, because the Cup car more towards what the nationwide cars have been like for recently. Chase puts basically one hand on that championship trophy, and he basically earned it. He's been the best driver all year in the series, the best regular. He's the only guy that's really won. Regan won at Daytona, but that's a crapshoot no matter what. And then some of these other guys have won, but aren't as much of a contender. The part about the Elliott Sadler going and going Roush was somewhat of a shock, but at the end of the day, they need room to put Bubba Wallace into a full-time ride. They're already giving Daniel Suarez a full-time ride next year in nationwide, whether ready or not, the whole thing. The 54 will be Kyle and Garrett Jones. No Sam Wonders because he's driving the 9 next year in Cup. So Eric Jones probably gets all those runs that Kyle isn't going to be racing. So they need to have a third seat, and that opens up the door for Bubba Wallace to go and run full time next year. So that's a good thing. It's a positive for Joe Gibbs. It's positive for Bubba. For Elliott Sadler, he had diarrhea or something, food poisoning, couldn't run. Clint Boyer finished the race for him. He finished 9 for him, but Elliott Sadler is irrelevant. He's the MW55 nationwide. He has a sponsor, and he's just kind of garbage.
A couple episodes ago, I said that I muted the TV because the national anthem was sung badly. Well, I did it again. The guy, whoever sung the national anthem from Nationwide Waste, God, he was terrible.
I mean, that's just, the typical fucking national anthem bullshit. They can never find anybody that has talent. They always gotta find someone who butchers the national anthem. I mean, we talked about it at the Kentucky episode when we talked about this isn't a fucking, this isn't an audition for American Idol. This is you're singing our country's national anthem. You're supposed to sing it right. If you don't sing it right, get the fuck off the stage. We don't want to hear that shit. I mean, the point of the matter is, they can't ever find anybody that has any talent whatsoever. And they always have to find these people you never heard of, for a record company you never heard of, country recording artists. Like, who the fuck knows this person? Nobody? Why are you having them sing? Like, that's gonna have them become stars? No. I can guarantee you half the people that sung the national anthem in the last 10 years that weren't famous didn't do shit. And that's what they do. They always have to find somebody who's just garbage upon garbage upon garbage. And Vince the Nationwide race perfectly because that race was garbage. There's nothing good about that race. Of course, I didn't hear the national anthem, but I'm pretty sure it was trash. I mean, I haven't heard a good national anthem in quite a long time. That's pretty sad for NASCAR because this is an American sport. We're supposed to be keeping it, we're supposed to be, doing good with our national anthem. Instead, we just butcher it with these people that we've never heard of who can't sing to save their lives and would probably fail if they did get on the American Idol. I mean, it's just embarrassing to hear. I mean, fuck. Like, who picks out these people? More than likely, because the person who always picks this out is the same person who allows Jimmy Johnson to fucking win 6 championships. Probably brought BZF's decision to pick all these douchebags out of the fire. I mean, fucking Christ, they're just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's all these people who sing on these shows or try to sing for these talent shows, yet they go and when people try to sing the national anthem, they do this affect where they go and add notes or add this or add that. Just sing the frickin' national anthem the way it's supposed to be sung. It's a less than 2 minute or a little more than 2 minute song. Just sing it properly. I'm no singer. I will readily admit that. But at the end of the day, just sing it the way it's meant to be sung. Don't add anything to it. Just sing it. We want to hear a proper national anthem. Go in a gentleman or drivers. Well, it's Pizza-Mania. So gentlemen, start your engine and let's get on with it. It's to me, all these different musicians who can't sing anyway. The garbage that they put out there that they call music. It's not really music. So, I mean, it's been a long-standing problem with this sport because they don't have any credibility. So then they get these crappy artists who can't sing anyway. So, I mean, it's par for the course, frankly.
Okay, well, let's go to the Wynn World Casino Resort 350. It's not the Kyle Busch show. We'll go down the list. Kyle Busch, Burton, Peters, Reddick, Crafton, Coulter, Grisham, Nemechek, Blaney, and Haley. Which Burton and Sauter got in a fight. And note to Johnny: just because your dad died doesn't mean you have to channel your anger at another person.
And also the fact that they're teammates for Thor Sport, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're fighting with your own teammate. What the fuck? Like, don't get me wrong. I like Johnny Sauter. He's a cool guy. He's a good driver. But really, man, come on now. You're supposed to be racing with, you're supposed to be professional. Like, that was just like, oh, fuck. I heard about that fight, and I'm like, damn, dude. If you're gonna get on anybody's nerves, get on someone that isn't your teammate. Like, that's just proving, that's like bad sportsmanship right there. But fuck the truck race. That race was trash. I mean, when I first turned it on, guess who's leading? Kyle Busch. Boring, fucking boring. And then to add fuel to the fire, guess who's calling it? Adam Alexander. That makes it even more unwatchable for me. And that was Halloween.
Here's the only good thing: Fruit Roll-Up was not dressed up as a pimp. Thank God.
But he still embarrassed himself in the booth like he always does.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
I mean, Adam Alexander is trash. I mean, me and Phil get into it every week, or at least every 2 episodes, about how trashy or how fucking awful Adam Alexander is in the booth. I mean, I listen to it, and I'm like, can you really be this bland? It's like, he's the Marty Reed of trucks. I mean, he just makes it so fucking boring. It's like, even at Talladega, he made it boring. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be calling a race with professionalism, and you're just like sitting there as if it's just, it's like you're not even enthusiastic about it. Why Rick Allen isn't on there now, even though his NBC job doesn't really begin until next year, and why he left after Eldora, I'll never fucking know. But still, it's trash. I mean, the only saving grace in that booth is Phil Parsons, because I can actually listen to him. He doesn't make a jackass of himself day in and day out like Alexander and Fruitcake. I mean, fucking Christ. And then that whole race in general, I didn't watch it. I watched the first 30 laps. I was getting ready for my buddy's farewell party, so I figured, fuck Kyle, I'm out. So then when I came home, I wasn't even home when I found out Kyle won. I found out on my phone, I'm like, fucking Kyle, really? Like, fuck, man. And it's just boring upon boring. The one truck race I do get to watch, and that fucker wins. I didn't watch at Martinsville with Bubba Wallace one because I was at my cousin's, and he didn't have Fox Sports 1, so I kept up with it on my phone. And then I did, and I barely got to watch the last 35 laps of Talladega where Timothy Peters won, which was good. And then it's just, the trucks are becoming more of a joke. I mean, my buddy Jonathan Pibb said, what if we get rid of the trucks and merge the K&N West and East series together? And I think that would probably be better than watching this shit. Because at least with that K&N East and West series, you don't just have one driver dominating every fucking race and winning. And it's not... You don't get someone running in NASCAR, like the big NASCAR, like Nationwide Cups or trucks, come into those series, wreck the field and basically win, which was Kyle does every fucking time he enters a truck or a car. I mean, fuck. It's just, the trucks are just becoming a joke. And for the fact that Texas, I'm not surprised, because Texas is track, always has been track, whether it's trucks, Nationwide Cup, it's gonna suck. I haven't found one Texas race in years that was any good. I think the last time that I saw a decently good Texas race, and I'm not saying this with all due respect, I'm saying decent. I'm not even saying good. The last time I saw a decent Texas race was like 2011 when it was Stewart and Edwards going for the championship. That was a decent race. But just every fucking year it just gets worse for trucks, Nationwide Cups. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't make me want to watch. Matter of fact, it makes me want to just go do something else. I'd rather be doing something else than watching that shit. So, good on Jeb Burton for doing good, finishing second. Johnny Sauter, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a cool driver, but he really needs to fucking take a chill pill and stop trying to get in his teammate's face. Crafton, of course, still is a championship contender. More than likely, he'll probably win the championship. I'm calling it. Unless if he wrecks at Phoenix and Homestead and it allows Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, or anybody of those guys to win the championship. But it's gonna be Crafton. Hopefully, Matt Crafton doesn't become like the Jimmy Johnson of the Truck Series, where he's a good guy at first and he turns into a complete douche canoe, and then he just starts winning championships and then no one likes him. And he's from California, so I gotta support him. And he's a good, like, at all the people you want to see win. I don't want Matt Crafton. I want someone new to win because Matt Crafton won the championship last year, but this year's a new year. We want someone new. Bubba Wallace deserves the championship. Ryan Blaney deserves the championship. Johnny Sauter, I don't think he's going to be much of a contender once we get to Homestead. His championship hopes are just colliding on the balance. So I just can't wait till we get to Phoenix, and hopefully we'll have someone that isn't a fucking Cup driver win that race.
I'm pretty sure somebody that isn't a Cup driver is going to win the race on Friday night. Eric Jones is defending the race winner there in the 51 truck. And in terms of Kyle, I mean, I didn't watch much of the race. I knew I didn't miss much. I ended up hearing about John. I saw the end where I was out of the house, and then I got home in time to watch Johnny Sauter bitch and moan about how Jeb Burton raced him, and then Jeb Burton got on the race, or I was listening to it, it's like, Jeb Burton goes and says, which is hilarious, it's typical, just like his father, which has made it even better. It's like Johnny goes and hits everybody on the racetrack, and then when somebody gets into him, he goes and cries wolf about it. So he can give, but he can't take, or something along those lines. And I found that hilarious. Only Jeb Burton can go and get away with saying something like that. He's had an awful year this year, and Jeb Burton in a third Thor Sport truck at one of his best racetracks. He won his first career truck race. He ended up being second. Matt Crafton is super consistent, finishing fifth. Credit out their top five. The Bubba Wallace's championship was basically done after he blew an engine while running up front. He led 51 laps of the race on Friday night, but blew up conveniently. I mean, that's all year they've had this reliability. Blow up in 3 races to go in the season. He blows up and basically costs him a chance at a championship. It's a 2-horse race between Crafton and Blaney. Blaney finished 9, so he lost 4 points or 5 points or whatever to Crafton. basically Craftonetza to go and fall out, like Adam said, for him to have a chance to win the championship. But we'll see what happens on Friday night at Phoenix for this.
Yeah, I felt that when Bubba's engine broke down, and they had to do a red flag because of it. Let's see. Now we're in Phoenix next Sunday. Spoiler alert: Harvick's gonna win Sprint Cup, and let's just see. We're looking at and hold on once. Bush is gonna win the nationwide. And I'm going to say either Peters or Blaney's going to win Camping World.
For me, in terms of nationwide, just give me a second. Let me do it.
Oh yeah, and Kenseth, Keselowski, Gordon, and No Neck's going to be eliminated.
Yeah, so we'll go first for trucks in terms of who I'll pick to wins. Look, Austin Dillon's actually in the race. I might just pick him. I'll go with Austin Dillon winning on Friday night. I'd probably say Eric Jones would be the wild card for me. In terms of nationwide, it'll be Kyle Busch. Because, Kyle Busch, hope that Eric Jones and Alex Bowman get some attention driving because they're both getting limited races. But Kyle Busch is pretty good at Phoenix. So I figure he'll win on Saturday, and then on Sunday, for me personally, I want to see Brad win and get into the final round. I don't see that happening, though. I figure there's so many people who are such pansies, they will try to take him out. In terms of who will get eliminated, I figure Carl Edwards, Kenseth, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, and Harvick get eliminated. And there'll be a very random Final Four going on. So.
For me, in terms of the weekend, Friday night, I'm going to guess Bubba Wallace comes back and wins. I figure he can bounce back from the engine blow up in Texas and win in Phoenix. Eric Jones, of course, got his first win there last year, so he might have a shot. You might have a wild card come in there. Ryan Blaney could have a shot. Tyler Reddick could get his first win. Rob Chastain almost won that race last year in the 19th, so I figure Tyler Reddick could probably do the same thing and might even actually seal the deal. Timothy Peters, won't see him doing anything. So I figure it'll either be Bubba, Ryan Blaney, Eric Jones, or who else did I say? Yeah, I figured it would just be Bubba, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, or anybody else. I mean, I don't know. Eric Jones might have a shot. And on Saturday, it's gonna be easy. It'll be Kyle. Kyle fucking do another Phoenix sweep. He'll win both nationwide races held in Phoenix. Guaranteed fucking see it. If it's not,
ooh, Al Franken won. Yay! Go on.
And if it's a nationwide driver, I say maybe I could probably see somebody like I don't know. You could probably see maybe an upset like Chris Buescher could come out here and spoil the party, get a second win. Maybe we'll see Trevor Bayne into victory lane before he leaves for Roush Cup in 2015. Maybe Brian Scott gets his first win, which I highly doubt. I'm just saying maybe on that one. Regan Smith could possibly solidify his championship chances if Chase Elliott doesn't clinch it Chase, he probably has a shot at winning that race. And Elliott Sadler probably won't do shit. On Sunday, in terms of winning, I see maybe someone out of the blue like Danican't wins because he hasn't won shit all year, and I figure that if he's going to have any shot going into Homestead, he'll probably be have one of the drivers with a win that'll be in the Final Four. Maybe Danny Hamlin could do something, back up a good, his 2012 win in Phoenix with a win there. Brad, as much as he's my boy and I love him, and he's he can have a missile and fire back. I don't think he's going to do shit on Sunday. He might get eliminated and not have a shot. Gordon does good in Phoenix. He's got 2 wins there, but he hasn't won there in 3 years. So I don't know how he'll do. He might have a chance to win. Harvick, he won there last year. His last win for RCR. Did great, dominated, won there in the spring. So I think Harvick can bounce back and probably sweep Phoenix if he's good. In terms of who's going to get eliminated, I say it'll be Edwards, Hamlin, Logano. I'm pretty sure his streak is up. He'll blow up or Bragg or something. I figure he's going to make it into Homestead. So it'll be Logano, Edwards, Hamlin, and as the next driver who's not going to make it. Between my guys, I probably have to say that they're probably Gordon that doesn't make it next week.
Okay. Questions. Who caused Danica to crash herself? And why did Boyer crash? Because he's an idiot.
Because he's a dumbass, can't drive for shit anymore.
Okay, should us old school fans start a riot after the Homestead race and try and take Brian Francis' head off? Yes. And we're bringing Michael Moore to film it.
Oh man, that would be something.
Come on, I would love to participate in a Michael Moore film. I wouldn't do it for the money. I just did it for fame. How long will it take for Adam to lose all his shit since Wimpy won? 2 seconds.
It basically lasted, when we started the show, it took maybe 30 seconds or 20 seconds for me to just go ape shit. But yeah, that's just my forte. I lose my shit on Johnson and for good reasons too.
Why do NASCAR fans complain about fights since a fight quote NASCAR on?
Yeah, I got nothing more to add to that.
What?
I got nothing more to add to that. You said that one. It was basically teed up like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball straight over the plate. You just knew that Adam was going to go for it. And he took it out of the park.
Okay. I was going to say, why do NASCAR fans complain about fights since a fight put NASCAR on the map? Because they have nothing better to do with their lives.
It wasn't a fight. It was a bitch fight between pit crews, basically.
I mean, if you want to see a fight, look back to the 79 Daytona 500. That was a fight. All these shit that people think are fights, they're not fights. I mean, if it was just Brad and Gordon and Harvick just beating the shit out of each other just by themselves, yeah, that'd be a fight, but it wasn't, so.
With Danica's new crew chief, she finished 9 laps down. Yes. When will the Kool-Aid drinkers open their eyes and realize it's not the crew chief, since Knox won at Martinsville and Gibson ran well with Kurt this weekend and also won with Newman at Stewart Haas Racing? Never. It's never going to happen.
They'll never realize that Danica Patrick sucks cock, literally and figuratively. She always has, she always will. She won't do anything. Like I said earlier in the show, you can give her the best crew chief in the business. You can give her Paul Wolf. You can give her Darian Grubb. You can give her Jason Ratcliffe or Alan Gustafson, and she'll still finish 37th, 10 laps down like she always does. So yeah, fuck Danica.
I mean, at the end of the day, she could drive a 48 car and figure out a way with Chad Knaus and that whole crew, and figure out a way to take a team that's won about 70 races or however close to 70 or wherever the heck our remaining number that A-hole has won, and run outside the top 30 every single week just because of who she is and how she drives. So whatever. Take another load.
That would actually be pretty funny if she did drive the 48 car.
Well, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, they're never... The fat felon would rather have a fairy dude than have a fairy chick.
Okay, Okay, when will the Goontards use our Dale call to get their bum boy back to victory lane before the season's over?
Not happening.
Yeah, Junior's done. Yeah, basically Martinsville was just the rigged race that I knew it was going to be. It was going to be Hendrick card up one, and of course it was Junior, and right during the 10-year anniversary of that plane crash, and the fact that his Dale call came out right before his win is ironic. So yeah, he ain't winning at Phoenix and he ain't winning at Homestead, and then next year he'll run like shit, just like he does.
Will a boxing ring be installed in time for next week's race? Yes, I would definitely watch the boxing match between Gordon and Kozlowski. Have Dom King promote it, like hell.
Yeah, I mean, if NASCAR, because they have a lot of WWE tendencies these days, they might as well have a ring. I mean, Jeff Gordon will run away from the ring and send his pit crew in, and then Brad will go in there, and then Kevin Harvick will go and chair shot him like Ric Flair. But I mean, it is what it is that way. I mean,
we gotta have Little Nate, Little Nate referee it. I like Charles Robertson. He's awesome.
Yeah, Charles Robinson's a cool dude. I'd go and give it to him. I'd rather have Nick Patrick because he's more liable to just go, or that scrub that I saw at that CZW show who everyone was heckling. That guy was kind of funny because he seemed like a douche. But he seemed like a Jerome Boger.
The network's free for a month, so you could take that offer.
Yeah, for all that. You could.
That would be. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, whatever. How many people creamed their sheets that JJ won? 10% of Americans.
Yeah, I'd say about 11%, and 11 of those including all these Fix Pex fans that are complaining that Jimmy's not in the chase and all this other bullshit. I mean, half the people I'm friends with hate fucking Jimmy Johnson. Only people that don't are people who are also Junior fans and don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I mean, basically everyone who loves government motors, Fat Felon Racing, Johnson, Canals, just being fruity people in general. Yeah, those are the people that liked it. Otherwise, it was just terrible.
Okay, did Jimmy Johnson get buffed for pre-race as his motivation to win? Oh, I don't even answer that question. I'm not answering it.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to say yes.
When will Kyle Busch go race in a full-time nation schedule since he can only win there? Next year.
Unfortunately, as much as we would love to see that happen and get his ass out of cut because he's just basically filling a ride that he won't do anything, it's pointless. I mean, Kyle just likes the fact he knows he can run all three series and win and compete and just he's never going to get out of Cup unless he retires from NASCAR altogether. But he should just run nationwide or trucks because that's all he's good at. I mean, you got to go back to 2008 when he dominated all three series and he was just a factor for every fucking race. From that time span from like 2008, 2010, he was just a factor for every race. Then 2011 came around and he just started sucking ass, and then since then he's like, fuck, I can't win the championship, I can't even win more than 2 races a season. I think I'll just go to nationwide and then run almost half the races and then win all the races and then so that's basically Kyle Busch's thinking.
I mean, the fact is he's cut. The crazy part is he's cut down from running a full schedule to whatever he runs, and then he wins at a high percentage because he has the best stuff. Kind of like Mark Martin used to. He's the closest thing to what Mark Martin used to be when he had that Winn-Dixie Ford back in the day. I mean, the difference is people didn't mind Mark Martin winning all the time because he didn't race every single week, basically. The schedule had some diversity to it. And Mark Martin's actually a nice guy versus Kyle Busch, who a lot of people don't like. That's the biggest difference. In terms of him ever going to nationwide, he tried to go and run his own team in nationwide for 2 years, one on his own as a driver, and he didn't win a race. He got so pissed off he took his sponsorship back to Joe Gibbs Racing to go and run the 54 over there. And then you talk about the year after that, he basically ran Parker Kliger, tried to run Parker Kligerman out of the sport, and took Brandon Davis and Swan Racing to do so officially. But it's not going to be for a while, if he does anyway. Because Joe Gibbs loves watching him win second and third division races like it really counts for anything in the grand scheme.
When will Goontards know how to spell? Never.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm friends with junior fans who actually have decent spelling, but a lot of them just probably didn't finish 8th grade.
Did Clint Boyer have another itch on Sunday? Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it was probably team orders from Michael Waltrip or whoever this was responsible for it. So, yeah, it was rigged, for sure.
Will Philip Mathew be spokes crew chief for 2015? We hope so.
Yeah, I mean, Phil would do a fucking great job as a crew chief. I mean, he's a Smoke fan. He's been a Smoke fan for years. He knows Smoke he knows Smoke as a person, as a racer. So probably would do him good. I mean,
You
Chad
always say as a person.
Well, you know what I mean. I mean, the fact that what I'm saying is that Chad Johnston's a shitty crew chief and has been even when he was with Truex. And I don't think if Chad Johnston stays in the 14 next year, they'll just run like shit. They'll be just like what they did this year. They won't make the chase. They won't win a race. They'll be mid-pack. But yeah, Phil would definitely be better than Chad Johnston for sure.
I would love the upgrade and the full-time job and benefits that come with it. The fact that Tony would probably curse me out half the time doesn't really matter because I have benefits. I would definitely love that job opportunity. Smoke, I'm readily available. I'm available for phone interviews. You can call me on my cell phone. I'm not listing it on the show, but I will provide my source. I'll provide personal references as well.
Including us, including me now.
Yeah, including Adam and Elizabeth.
And you can go ahead and text. I gave you my phone number, so you can go ahead and text me your phone number if you like it. So, another event. Did Phil Bartley jerk off to Johnston all night after his win? We don't really know, and really don't care.
We don't want to know, and yeah, it's disgusting, but
He probably did it because he's a fucking six-pack fan. I mean, he never admitted it, but since he got all butter over that shit almost a month ago, probably did it. Fucking dipshit.
We're like so done with that guy, so let's never ever talk about him again.
Yeah, that's fucking self.
Yeah, so I'm surprised Nate didn't ask us any questions this week. I'm sad.
He's been he's actually a little bit under the weather, so
Nate, we hope you feel better. Will MW55 realize how big of a goof he was on Dancing with the Morons? No.
No, he's too full of shit and he's too full of himself to realize that he sucked at dancing with the dumbasses, and then he also sucked at racing. So if he does realize it, probably won't be till he's all senile and having nurses fucking carrying him around and shit, when he'll probably realize that he was a failure at racing and at dancing.
Will he get another DUI since he got limited? Of course.
Of course, I mean, he'll if he can't put his name in the paper that isn't about him dancing like a dipshit, he'll probably do something that'll make him look like a complete retard, and he'll get another 2007 Land Cruiser and flip it. So probably.
Hopefully he does something that'll get him fired from Fox. That would just.
I can sense it coming. I mean, don't get me wrong. Michael Waltrip's a dumbass, but I'm pretty sure that one of these days he's just gonna fuck up. Boy, he'll either say something on TV that'll fucking get him fired, or he'll do something that'll get him fired. Either way, I can see it coming.
He'll get caught with sausage in his mouth.
Probably.
He'll be on celebrity rehab in 2 years.
Exactly.
Will his butt boy Boyer spoon him with him to make him feel better? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Clint Boyer, but probably, I don't know.
Will him and Daryl go inbreed in Owensboro as the elimination? I don't
Oh
really
my
know
god! Holy shit. That's
Entirely possible. There's a couple of sheep that are in big trouble.
Dude, I have plans to have, again, petting zoo, wedding reception. Thanks a lot.
Look, you're not getting those sheep from Owensboro.
You just gotta make sure you keep them on a leash so Michael Walker doesn't have his sheep sensing on.
Oh, he won't be invited to my wedding.
Of course not.
However, I will probably invite the Penske boys.
Oh yeah. Even if it's that pizza fake douche Logano also go.
Will Emma Slater ever be the same after working with this brute? Never. She'll
probably have to go to therapy for a long time to erase the fact that she was paired with one of the dumbest people in this country and one of the most dumbest people in NASCAR.
Yeah, it's a shame for her that her first experience on the show is with this absolute flame job, and it'll never go and be any better because she'll have the stigma of being hooked to this fruitcake forever.
Oh. So I think Whitney's going to go therapy too after working with him.
Yeah, probably.
But then again, she's with a winning person, so. Alright. In any event, plugs. We're proud members of the Geeks of the Industry Network. 9 shows on the list, including ours. There's Geeks of the Industry, the flagship show. Geeks on Film for you film lovers out there. Sleeve Notes, if you like music. And Adam and Phil, you're more than welcome to be on that show. Mega Powers Radio Wrestling Show. Actually, 3 wrestling shows. Mega Powers Radio, Wrestling with Smut, and Pro Wrestling Nation. There's Cartilage International, if you guys like video games. And there's Chatastrophe, where that you can talk whatever the fuck you want to talk about. Geeks of the Industries, .spreadshirt.com. Please buy our shirts so we can have we can broadcast live from like either Daytona 500 or Pocono. Please. That's our goal right there. Facebook.com/groups/NASCAST 500 is our group page. If you want to go to the main page, Facebook.com/group/G of the I. My Twitter handle is at Elizabeth Moxley. Just to let you guys know, it's not safe for work. And our Twitter handle is at NASCAST 500. We try to update it. But all 3 of us are both busy, so the last thing on our mind is just Twitter handle. So, whatever. You guys?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook a lot of the time, posting my rants about everything from the fight in Texas to all this other bullshit. I speak my mind a lot, so if you don't mind, and if you like what I have to say, just add me at Facebook, www.facebook.com/@MostKnownWriter. I'm also on Twitter, @TheDesertBandit. I only have like 90 followers, but half of them are fake. Would love to have some new followers on there. I'm also on YouTube, www.youtube.com/user/Simon1988, and that's about it.
For me, I'm on Twitter @PhilipGMathew, and on Facebook, facebook.com/PhilipGMathew. Usually post when I feel compelled or have my iPad handy or phone handy about some of the nonsense that goes on. It's not, full on, anger, but if I see something that's interesting, I go post it. And it's usually about racing.
Okay, with that being said, for my good friends Adam and